Hi everyone, my name is Emily and I am a programmer at the Erlanger branch of the Trenton County Public Libraries. Welcome to our how-to class that we offer every Monday at 4 p.m. right here on Facebook. Today we're going to be doing block printing, which I'm pretty excited for. This is my example of my print right back here. Yours will look pretty similar depending on your aesthetic choices. But before we get started, I want to go through a few things that we have coming up in July. The next 2 Mondays, we're actually hosting some local artists and small businesses to present our how-tos. They're going to give us some really cool projects, so please tune in next 2 Mondays at 4 p.m. Just for our local artists and small businesses. In July, mid-July, July 18th, at the Durr Branch in Independence, we have a drive-through circus, which is going to be really cool. We'll have aerialists and a whole bunch of other circus elements that you can enjoy from the safety of your own car. We also have some how-tos for kids and adults on Wednesdays. We have Spanish story times, Spanish how-to projects, English story times, trivias, a whole bunch of really cool stuff that you can enjoy right here online on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So check those out. All right, let's get started with block printing. So I have my prints back here that you can look at while I'm talking. I'm also just going to show you this one up close real quick. It's the same thing. It's a night sky with mountains, and I printed these both off the same block. It's super easy to print multiples as long as you're using the same color. We're going to be using foam, so it's not very easy to clean that and use a different color, but you can use this multiple times as long as you're using the same color, which is really cool. You've probably seen a whole bunch of videos on block printing right now. It's really popular, it's a really cool project. They're probably all telling you to buy expensive woods, expensive linoleum, expensive carving tools, expensive ink, special paper. Unless you want to do this professionally and sell your work, or you really want to learn the art of block printing, you don't need any of those things. So we like to reduce, we like to reuse, we like to recycle, and we like to craft on a budget. So I'm going to show you all the materials that you can use in place of those expensive special items that you might just have laying around at your house. So the first thing you need is something to carve on, and this is just a foam sheet. It's like a child's craft foam sheet. You can buy these in craft stores for just a couple cents, or you can find them in packages for just a couple dollars. This is my first choice. It's really, really easy to carve on. It's really easy to find. For larger square projects, it's perfect. It's what I used for our example here. It also comes in, this is a 5x7 I believe, but it also comes in 8x10 sizes. So it's just perfect for all of your projects. If you don't have any of these on hand, if you don't have kiddos or you don't craft a lot and you don't want to go out and purchase them, which I completely understand, you can use styrofoam bowls or plates. So I have bowls here, and I cut off this ring part and get the flat bottom, like this guy. And you can carve on this. It works just the same way as the foam sheet, which is really cool. If you have a plate, this is not styrofoam, you would not carve on this, but just an example. If you have a plate, you would just cut off this and you would end up with that larger circle, so you have more space to carve on. You can also use the lids of takeout containers. You can use blocks that come in shipping or furniture boxes, anything like that. So there is some styrofoam out there that is, I don't know how to explain it other than it has a bunch of air bubbles. So the media is very separated, there's a bunch of holes in it. It doesn't take the paint very well, and it's not going to transfer your design very well. So I would definitely stay away from using anything like that. Use the more dense materials like this that you can cover completely with your ink or your paint. So you're also going to need something to transfer your design to. I use construction paper. Super easy, super cheap. You probably have some of that in your home. You can also use cardstock, printing paper, anything like that. You also need something to carve with. This is just a pointed wooden craft stick. Basically, you can find these at craft stores, or you can make one yourself if you have some dowels. You can shave off a pointed end. These are really easy to carve with. You don't want to carve straight down to where you're kind of like poking at it, but pulling it sideways is very beneficial. It's going to get your design in there a lot deeper. You can also use a mechanical pencil with the lead in. You can use the end of a paintbrush. Anything that has that shape that's going to create the indentation in your foam. So you also need a Sharpie to draw your design with, and some paint or some ink. So if you want to buy that special block printing ink, you can. It definitely makes cleaner lines, and it looks really, really good at the end. But acrylic paint, I just have basic acrylic paint here in a few different colors. works perfectly. You don't want anything too watery, because that's going to get in the lines that you've carved and it's not going to transfer very well. But a thicker, just kind of like this, a thicker acrylic paint is perfect. So you definitely want that. You also need something to roll your paint on with. So this, excuse me, this is actually specifically made for block printing and inks and paints, and this is very handy to have. It's very easy to clean. It is basically just like a soft rubber roll. It rolls your paints on your design very, very nicely. If you don't want to go out and buy one of these, that's the only specialized tool I would recommend. But if you don't want to go out and buy one, you can use thick foam rollers that you would use for paint. You will have to change those every color though. They're a lot harder to clean, and if you do clean them, you'll have to wait for it to dry. This cleans very well and dries very easily. Or you can even, I know this sounds strange, you can go to the Dollar Tree and you can buy foam hair rollers, put them on a dowel or a pencil, anything like that, and roll it just the same. It works perfectly. So other than that, you might need some scissors to cut out your paper if you're cutting it to size like I did with this, or to cut out your foam. But other than that, you're all set. So your first step is to draw and carve your design, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that, and then we'll start printing. Alright, so I have my design carved, and the next step is to print it. So I'm going to grab a paper plate or a tray or anything like that where you can mix your paint. Grab your paint. I just have an acrylic here. I'm going to put enough on there for my roller. I may need to add more, but I don't want to have too much. And then just basically spread it out. Get it evenly over the roller. It's okay to be messy. So I have it covered pretty evenly. And I'm going to move this over to the side so I don't get paint everywhere. And just roll it over. You want to make sure that it is even and that there is paint on every corner because you're going to be printing the whole thing. So there needs to be paint on every corner, and you don't want to press too hard. If you press too hard, then the paint is going to get into the areas where you carved, and it's not going to transfer the entire design. So I'm just going to lightly roll this over. You should be able to tell where it is not going into my design, which is exactly what I want. I'm just going to keep going and keep refilling my roller until everything is covered. Alright, so everything looks covered and pretty even, so I'm going to set this aside. Grab the paper that I want to transfer on. And then carefully pick up the edges so that you don't smear any of the paint. Flip it over and set it down right in the middle of your paper. And then you're just going to want to press down very softly on every edge to make sure your paint transfers evenly. I'm trying to go over it a few times to make sure I got every area. And then I'm going to take it from the bottom here, scoot it over so you can see it. I take it from the bottom here and peel up slowly. And there's my design. So like I said, you can print this on multiple sheets of paper at a time. I would just roll some more paint over it, and then you can just keep printing as many times as you want. This is super cool for cards, invitations, anything that you want to transfer design to, especially if it is large. Because you can buy stamps for that, but if it's a large design and you want to put it on invitations, this is perfect. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining us for block printing. I hope you have a lot of fun with this. There are endless designs you could do in different colors of paint and different colors of paper. It's super cool, super fun. If you do create any, please post some pictures in the comments because we love to see your projects. Otherwise, don't forget to join us for the next 2 Mondays at 4 p.m. to support local artists and businesses as they bring some really cool projects to you. And don't forget to go to the circus on July 18th. So, bye!